You know, I don't really understand, like, just how damaging just trying to cancel someone, even if there's a small YouTuber, just how devastating that could be. I mean, can you really call this a cancellation? It's just more like a petty dispute that ended up becoming a manipulation of the narrative. Now, I've been very quiet about this lately, but I think it's about time I tell you guys what's been going on and why are people saying these stuff about me, and just overall the truth. Because in all honesty, you've been lied to. Now we're going to understand how this all started. I need to take you back when I first announced the Blaze Blue Central Fiction dub mod. Now when this all started, a lot of people were very interested in it. I got a lot of subscribers, positive comments, and people joined my Discord server, just very interested how it was going to end up, because the last one was kind of mixed. Still happening, by the way. I just got to take care of this. But one of the people that actually got a lot of, was interested in it was a man named Kaizouwar. And I heard of his videos and stuff, from a friend I know, but I wasn't really into, his stuff like that. But for some reason, he was, glad that people are, still care about this stuff like that. And, he was surprised that I even heard of him. And I was just, I opened it up, even though, it was out of nowhere, but he kept advertising a lot of my stuff, and I was, it was like a mutual thing. But there was something that was odd about me. About his Discord server, his more attitude, but I just ignored it. But now something very strange happened in his Discord server. For some reason, a group of raiders came in and tried to spam and destroy the server eventually. Well, I wasn't there for most of it because I was in stuff IRL with my friends, but eventually when I came to it, the server was gone. And then I see this, saying that his Discord server was raided and deleted the moment he showed up, so he made a new one. So I didn't press the issue and joined. But only for it to get raided again. And then that's where things just went down for the worst. Because for some reason, I see that even his members were starting to spam, and I just don't understand, because I wasn't in for most of it, but during the last part I just see everything just completely gone at this point, and I don't understand what was going on. But then suddenly they started blaming me. I don't understand that how I had anything to do with it. I knew nothing about these people, and of course, they came in with insults, slander, and just didn't even respond to the fact that I may have not had anything to do with it, but they didn't listen to it. So supposedly they banned me overnight. I don't understand the thought process come to it. It's deeper than that. For a user likes to remain anonymous, he said that he may have been the one that sparked the flame going into banning me. Because he said that essentially to ban you for participating in the raid. But even though looking back at it, he probably was a lot of more biased due to a lot of beef he had with me for participating, even if I didn't block the whole thing. But I guess it was just known that it was just, he may have caused it one way or another. And I just think it's very pitiful that it happened like that. But then I see this comment in my recent video of him saying, "What's up with the deal with my Discord being spammed?" Now obviously I don't have to pick now because it's been deleted, because to avoid stuff like this. But I told him straight up, I didn't know any of these people, I had nothing to do with it. But he didn't really respond to it correctly, and I asked him, if you really wanted to get it down like that, we can settle this like men. We can talk about it and get into a mortal ground of what we're gonna do. Of course, I just ignored it at that point because I knew it was just small stuff that I couldn't get myself into. However, he decides to go even further. Inside the server, they're saying all these things that I may have been the one to do it, even though I already told them I didn't. But this is where stuff gets really bad. Because then he posts this community tab saying, "These were the takes that ruined my first server. And even right the second. I can't believe Darkseid would do this. I can't believe he destroyed my first server. I was interested in Central Fiction dub mod. I was so interested in it." Like, bro, I already told him that I had nothing to do with it. But, of course, he didn't listen to it. And a bunch of sheeps were telling him, like, "Oh my god, he did this. He's so bad." Without not even understanding the context that went into it. I even commented on his community tab. I was like, imagine trying to attack a small YouTuber over something he didn't even do. He won't even get a chance to defend himself. But he deleted it out of his own sheer ignorance. I just can't believe it. But it gets worse. So as I said before, I reminded him that if he wanted to settle this like men, you could come to my Discord and we could talk about our differences and what we could do here on out. And surprisingly, he accepted it. So this was our DM history going forward. So I pretty much told him about my side of the story and what was really going on, about his own members were even trying to like take down the server, and I didn't know any of those people. And I also reminded him, like, if you were gonna make another post or a community tab about me, I was going to strike back. So I don't think he should have expected a video like this to happen, because eventually, like, you can't really believe like some fabrication like that if no case can be made. But of course, he didn't listen and started going on insults, talking about, like, "No, but you were the one who did it, and I've heard a history of you being not so pleasant, and stop me sending people to say shut up in my community tab. You did it too." But even though I told him, like what? Like, I had nothing to do with it. I don't know any of these people, and like, you can't really do that. Like, even people in his comic sections, in his Discord servers, don't even like bother with him, because not everyone wants to believe like his BS that he does. But then of course, he does the unthinkable and block me, of course, because he wanted to not listen to reason and be a child. And then he complains it on Twitter on some ex-girlfriend shit, talking about, "Darkseid's such a baby, I swear to God. Dislike bombing? Wow." I didn't dislike anything. I haven't watched your videos since like this whole thing started. So if anything, you probably brought that on yourself. This is where things start to get really distasteful, because after he blocked me, he decided to do the good old, you know what, maybe I'll share my side of the story only, and try to spread misinformation to other people. And like, as I was just minding my own business, he starts to find more people that he can manipulate and just trick. People who weren't even involved in this thing at all. He wanted to make sure I was the bad guy in this. Because I'm no hero, but if there's one thing I'm not, is the bad guy. But this was literally a start of cancel culture. And right here, he explains that how he was the one who started a formal discussion, when he knows damn well I was the one who suggested it first. When I told him straight up, you saw what happened before. And I showed him the fact that I was the one who suggested a discussion, and I don't understand why he would just lie to these people. But not only just lie to people, he started to get very, very hypocritical. Him and his fans too. Because afterwards, he has his own users and fans with all accounts trying to get into my server to start a raid. You want to call me out on something like that, when I didn't even do it, but your own fans are doing it. Luckily, I banned them right away, because I was smart enough to see it. Maybe something you should have done. And why do I know it's probably what that was happening? Because there was someone else who was saying that that role player person was there too. Because there was a user in my server who I guess is kind of like that. but it just goes to show that they were spying on us the whole time. It was acting very childish. And I think the worst thing that he's done so far has to be this right here. Him posting something on Twitter saying, "Just a word to y'all, the Blaze community. Be wary, Dark Sage Squad. He'll spam and threaten you with scoons. He's the baby. Talk about his ego being challenged." And for some reason, this get attention to a YouTuber named Moopoke, who makes a lot of Persona 4 Arena videos. And for some reason, these guys since he wants to lie his way too and say I raided him on the Ultimax server. That doesn't even make any sense. Like, for something in a vague screenshot as that, you can't honestly believe, like, you could believe, like, just understand something like that. Because without any, like, sort of evidence coming into it, no case can be made. And you can't just say something like, "Oh, you know what you did," because that just doesn't work. And this is where things start to get really childish, because for some reason, members from servers I used to be with are suddenly hopping in this bandwagon to get me canceled. The first person who sees this as his attention was a guy named Fame96, who used to be a mod in Termi server, now in the Susanoo server, adding Rot, the news admin of the Susanoo server, and GGF, the admin of the Termi server, trying to make sure I get my weight banned. When we know that I explained before how Fame isn't exactly the best person to be with. But like, and it goes to show you worse when people were questioning what's going on, DGF comes in and say like, Dark has been banned for multiple forms of evidence of being toxic and all that. Where are the forms? You can't honestly believe that those vague screenshots are the ones that's like proof of it. Because as I said before, if you can't like show anything that proves of me saying these stuff, doing these things, then no case can be. The next person we see is this person named Noir, who's apparently the admin of the main BlazBlue server that's like supposed to be connected everywhere. Now this one really doesn't like bother me as much because no one even speaks there anymore, but it's just crazy how he just jumps to conclusions thinking like, looking at it as we speak, send me any additional encounters you can in the meantime, please. Like, I don't understand why people just don't stop and think about it, saying like, like, isn't that kind of odd and vague? Like, these BlazBlue players are full of shit. Like, they don't know what they're doing because they have so much build. Even they have a rule explaining that, oh, if you talk about your ban on another social media, it won't get you unbanned or whatever, because that's how scared they are of their filth being exposed. They claim that I've said these things, done these stuff. They claim that I've done all these, but in return they become very hypocritical and get caught on 4K doing those same things they lied to me about. And of course, the next guy who says this is however he spells the bitch out name, talking about he's been banned and has for a long time for openings of multiple serves, but has nothing to back that up. And again, he's a hypocrite just like these other people, pretty much just slandering others, just lying to people, and just like when someone calls him out on his bullshit, he ends up attacking you for it or trying to follow you always away. There's people I know who've had very, very strange experiences with him. Like when this guy first joined the server, he and another person were legit attacked for the way he typed. Even people who used to be there were fine, but it was really hard to speak to them when they're so anal about the way like others speak. It helped more when they had such a big asshole mod, obviously referencing him. So he can't say anything about this when he does the exact same thing. And speaking of hypocritical, let's talk about Moopoke for a second, because I haven't talked about him in a bit. But for some reason, he wants to call out me and talk about how he wants to defend the Ultimax server, when for years he's been trashing on that server so hard. He wants to trash on it so hard, talking about, imagine letting this shit rock. This man was really showing signs of just a borderline sociopath. and he's so insecure of what people think about him that he's always tweeting about the same people. For some reason, when they get targeted on a game you like, something that had nothing to do with me, they wants to defend him now and let his viewers attack people who weren't even involved and make them look bad. And he's okay with that. I'm not making this up. He's okay with it. You're fine with telling people to off themselves, but you want to attack me for something that had nothing even to do with you. You want to send your fans to give death threats to people who don't like you. And another user had the experience of actually being depressed and has openly shared that he has, but him and all of his other people didn't care about that and wanted to make him feel bad and banned him for it. How are you supposed to explain that? He wants to talk about people, just people like that are obviously innocent over something that's just as trivial as the internet. Coming from someone who clearly doesn't have his life together because he's an alcoholic. His father was an alcoholic too, and he drinks beer every day. Because I'm not making this up. These are people who are trying to take people down because they're very miserable themselves. They're so obsessed over something that they can't do that they want to spread misinformation and attack people online. You see right here, talk about this guy Rachel husband talking about giving my ID, and he sends it to him, which that's just basically targeted harassment, because now I'm exposed to false flagging again, and or getting added in group chats or DMs to random idiots and being attacked just like everyone else. This is disgusting. Like, talk about I shouldn't be in any community. Like, I don't give a fuck about a Blazeville community or a Persona community. Anything, I'm just doing me. I'd rather be a fan and do what I'm passionate about. Because if anything, I could just stop the Blazeville Central Freak dub mod right now and just keep it for myself. But I'm doing it because I'm passionate for it. After this, I'm done talking about all this childish bullshit. You know? And don't get it twisted to talk about, oh, he's scared, he's trying to do this. You guys brought down yourselves trying to be hypocritical and call me out on something I didn't do. But yet you're caught on 4K doing the exact same thing. I'm done with this. I'm done with all this childish stuff. You could try to cancel me, have your 5 minutes of fame, trying about clout chasing, but that's on you now. Thanks for watching the video. If I've earned your trust and subscription, go ahead. I'm not doing this as an ad. I'm just doing this as defending myself as an adult. So, have a good one, and please, stay safe on cyberspace.